a reminder, just to make sure this is a nice clean recording for everybody, if you can turn your cameras off and also keep your mics muted, that would help out tremendously, and that way the YouTube video is nice and clean. Otherwise, your smiling face will be on there in perpetuity. Haley is in here again. She is our training administrator, and she is going to be taking any questions that you have and also helping out with some of the crowd control in here. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and either click the raise hand button or use your chat. Either one will be perfect. And she'll let me know that there is a question in here as well. This is being recorded. So if you are looking at this in the future, today is July 13th, 2023. Some of this information may have changed, but if there has been any changes, hopefully we've given a notification about it. Or again, you can always email marketing@rwtown.com to get the latest information or ask any questions that you might have. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started here. One second here, guys. Small technical difficulty. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. This is what happens when I have 3 screens open. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, so today we're going to be talking about new listings and emails that you may get when a new listing is entered in the system. We've had a lot of questions about this lately. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this class. So hopefully this clears up some information and just provide you some guidance about some of these emails that you might be seeing. One of the first emails that you might see is something that's coming from RWT Connect, and they're called listing notifications. And we have a really interesting thing in our system, and that you may receive multiple listing notifications when a listing comes on the market. So those emails look something like this. This one happens to be a vendor example, but ours would have the logo on the top, and it would be a property, of course, that would be local to us. And you're going to receive these when these various things happen, when it's just listed, when there's a price adjustment, when there's a status change, anytime there's an open house or it just sold, anytime the photos have updated and a virtual tour has been added. So these emails are here just to prompt you, to let you know that the change has been made in our system, in our listing manager, but it's also giving you an opportunity down here at the bottom to market your listing. These are just a reminder. It's saying, hey, do you want to share this on Facebook? Do you want to share it on Twitter? Share it on Pinterest? Do you want to send a flyer or send an e-card? Do you need to print a new flyer? Maybe it's a new price or something like that, or maybe you've put this in on a Friday and you need to just do some quick flyers for an open house. That's what this is reminding you to do, that just you have these options in the system that are available to you, and it's going to take you directly to your listing manager. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that in just a second. But I do want to explain one thing, is that when you put a new listing in, sometimes you're receiving 3 or 4 of these listing notifications. And I wanted to explain why from a technical standpoint. So something really interesting happens when we process data coming in from all the different MLS systems. Most people think that we receive all of that information all at once, but we actually don't. We usually receive the fact that there is a new listing coming in as a notification from the feed that says, hey, there's a change to the feed, there's a new listing. And our system says, cool, thanks, what's coming? And then the feed says, hey, here's all the data for that new listing. And it's going to send us all of the different fields and information, public remarks, all of the things that we can display everywhere. All of that information comes in and our system says, awesome. And then the system goes, but there's more. Here's some photos for you. And it sends us a feed with photos in it as well. It's actually a multi-step process for us to receive all of this information and make sure that it's displayed on the website. This is universal, by the way. This is one of the reasons why you might see something pop up on any of the other real estate portals super fast, and they may only have one photo attached, but if you hit refresh, it has all the photos in it. It's a similar process. It just means that all of that information is coming in, it's being processed, text is super fast to process and it's a lot easier to process, and then photos usually come after. So when you receive a couple of emails from the system, and they might all look the same, it's because different steps have happened in this process. You may get something from the system that says, hey, a new listing is in your listing manager. And that's that step one process. We've been notified that there's a new listing and we've received the data. So the system then a few seconds later or a few minutes later, depending on the number of changes we have, says, oh my gosh, there's new photos for that listing. So it may send another email to you that says, hey, the photos have been added. We also have things that happen with status changes. Sometimes we have a listing that comes in and it's of course new, and that changes to active after a certain number of days, depending on the MLS. Some of them are 3 days, some of them are 7 days when it changes from new to active. So even though you haven't necessarily changed something in the MLS, the system's going to shoot you an email that just says, hey, there's been a status change, and it's just because it's gone from new to active. So when you receive multiple emails on the first day of listing, it's not necessarily a mistake. It just means that our system is just working through all the different pieces that are coming on board just to let you know that they've all been added. So do keep an eye out. You may receive 3 or 4 different emails, again, depending on the complexity and different MLS system and how our feed is processed for things. But that's why you're receiving multiple emails from our system, just to let you know things are available in our listing manager. I want to go ahead and take a look at that for one quick second here. So what it's telling you are all of these options are available online right now. So it's letting you know that in your listing manager up here at the top, you have your listings. You can also click your total listings on your bar on the top there. So listings and your total listings on your bar are both go to the same place. And it's letting you know that you have some active listings and that there are things that you can do in here. So you can go to your listing manager and it's letting you know, hey, do you need to share this? Here are those listing links that you can copy and send right to Facebook. You can send it to your Twitter. You can send it to your Instagram. You can send it wherever you need to send it. These are those direct links right to that property. It's also letting you know, hey, the photos have arrived. Do you need to go ahead and put a banner on it? Do you want to say that it's waterfront? Do you want to say whatever it happens to be? You can go ahead and put your listing banner on. So that email notification is letting you know that the photos are there. You can definitely go ahead and put a banner on it if you need to. You can create your own custom banners in here. We also have a whole bunch of banners that we've used over the years that you can put on that main photo here as well. So part of that reminder also says, hey, do you need a flyer? In our listing manager, you also have a flyer manager right here. Maybe you just need to do a quick email that says, hey, this is on the market, go to my website to visit it. It's just giving you that prompt that says, do you need to market this in any way, shape, or form? So all of the websites that we have an email system built into it with RWT Connect. And you're able to go in and you can edit any of these flyers. Again, these are quick flyers. Most of you order different flyers from marketing, or you have some like really nice template that you'll get a printed flyer for. But sometimes you just need something super fast to be able to send out or be able to print, again, for a weekend or for an open house or something like that. You can certainly go in here to these flyer managers and you can either download the PDF for it. You can make some quick edits to any of these flyers. But we also have this opportunity to send. And you can actually take this whole flyer format and it comes out of the email system and it allows you to send that flyer as a quick e-card. So it's letting you know. So you'll receive these email notifications not only for new listings, but also for things like price changes. So if you want to send out a quick email about a price change, or you want to send out a quick email, maybe you've swapped out the photos, maybe some repairs were finished and you swapped out some photos, or maybe the seasons changed and you swapped out some photos, you can certainly go ahead and send that e-card or print again a quick flyer. So that's what those email notifications are letting you know, that just all of this stuff is available for you for quick marketing. If you want to make any updates to anything, all of this is in your listing manager and ready to go. But I mostly wanted to explain why you're getting multiple emails sometimes when you have a new listing on there. All right. Does anybody have any questions about this particular thing? So these listing notifications that are coming from our system for the listing manager. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one, and that's the Chalk digital ad. So you're going to go ahead and get an email from Chalk Digital that says, hey, we've received a new listing from you. Congratulations. We are going to run a free 7-day digital ad for you on behalf of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services because you're our agent. And here is when it's going to start to run, and here's your deadline for changing it. So what is happening in the background is they've received all the data. So again, they've received the photos, they've received the information about the listing, and it's going to take about 24 hours for that listing to start running. So that is the email that prompts you to say, hey, I have an opportunity right now to change that ad before it starts running, and it's trying to encourage you to do that. There are links in the Chalk Digital system to be able to go ahead and update things and make sure that you're choosing the right template and choosing the right links. And I want to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to pop in the Chalk Digital piece here. And we're going to pretend this is a new listing. This one just happened to end, so I'm going to grab it as a template here. Do note that you will see upload your own on here. It is not available for the 7-day ad, so that 7-day free ad requires you to use a BHHS template. They are, of course, paying for it, and they want some consistency with the branding that people are seeing from the thousands and thousands of listings that are coming out on behalf of BHHS. If you're running your own ads after the 7 days, so if you're running your own paid ads afterwards, that upload your own button is live, but it is not live during that free 7-day period. You will see the box, but it's not live. So what that email is telling you is, hey, we're getting ready to run this ad within 24 hours. Please go in and update it if you need to. It's giving you an opportunity to choose your different template. So if you happen to be a luxury collection specialist, and you want to use one of the black and gray or silver ads, you can certainly do that. You can also change the different placements. Sometimes we like a larger photo for whatever reason. Sometimes we need a little bit more text space. Sometimes an ad just appeals to you more than another one. So you can certainly go ahead and change that template. The next thing it's prompting you to do is go ahead to make any changes to that template that you need to. So maybe you want to change the photo. Maybe you want something a little bit more engaging. We certainly use the front of a listing when we are putting them into the MLS. It's going to bring in that primary photo from the MLS for us, but it's also going to bring in all the different MLS photos as well. So if this house is really, really dynamic, and maybe there's something that would just make people click on it, maybe it's a fabulous pool or a beautiful backyard or an amazing living room or a kitchen or something like that. Or in the case of this, maybe we want to refocus it from the front of the house and we actually want to show people that it's right on the ocean front. We can certainly do that as well. I have a couple of dynamic photos in here that might make people click a little bit more. I certainly love this one with the beautiful porch. We can go ahead and change that photo if we need to. It's also giving us an opportunity here to be able to edit that photo. So if we go to see all of our ad sizes right here, and we notice that we might need to crop it in a little bit, or we want to take a little bit of the ceiling off or something like that, we can certainly go ahead and crop that photo or bring it a little closer if we need to by editing that photo. It's also giving us the opportunity to go ahead and change any of this information in here. So these prompts are here for you to use. If you don't necessarily want this header, maybe you don't want to have the address up there. Maybe you want to just say something like, you know, in this case, maybe we'll put Virginia Beach oceanfront. So we don't necessarily need to have some of our other stuff that's on there. You can go ahead and change some of your details in here if you need to. You can also change your photo if you'd like to. We have some people who might belong to a team. We have some people who like to use their team logo here. Maybe you have a different photo that you want to use. We've certainly seen it in the past where the photo that we have uploaded into the system, like this one that has a very neutral background. Maybe if the photo that's back here also has an extremely neutral background, you might swap that out for something that has a darker background or a little bit more contrast, just to make the ad look a little bit better. And again, you can certainly go ahead and change any of this information you need to. So for example, this licensed real estate salesperson doesn't have to be used for this. We can say realtor, MRP, we can put whatever we want to in here. We can put another phone number, we can put an email address, whatever we want to put in those boxes. So we can use those text boxes. Just be aware of some of our laws and regulations, of course, that we need to make sure that we identify ourselves. So do make sure that you keep at least your contact information on there and who you are and your DBA, but feel free to get a little creative with some of this other, some of these other boxes. The next thing it's going to ask us is where we want it to go. So in this case, we have an opportunity to change it from the BHHS website, which is the default, the big global website, down to our own website. So maybe we want to go ahead and grab one of those links. Remember we saw in the listing manager that said our domain name / and it had a direct link right to the listing detail page on our website. We'll want to go ahead and grab that link and pop it right in here to make sure that we're getting all the traffic to our individual website under this website option here. And of course, it's giving us an opportunity to put in our seller name and seller email address so that they can receive a report about how the ad is doing. The other nice thing here is that this email address also allows the system to be able to show the ad itself as the client is browsing the internet. So if their name and email address is in here and we're able to match it to an IP address as your client is shopping or as they're looking at ESPN or something like that, they're going to, of course, see that ad pop up. It looks good for you. They're really happy to see their ad in front of them and be able to see their home. It's a great opportunity. They're also going to receive that email that shows them all sorts of different things about the ad, where it was shown, how many clicks, a great heat map. If you haven't seen that report yet, it's a pretty impressive report. So that chalk digital email is really important. It's going to say congratulations on your new listing, and it's going to give you all the opportunities to make these changes in the system. And I highly encourage you to do it, again, just to receive more traffic, just to be able to make sure that that ad is exactly the way you want it for those 7 days that they're paying for. All right. You may also receive an email from ExpressDocs. So not everybody is using ExpressDocs. This is certainly something new coming in for those of you who had not used ExpressDocs before. And for some people who have used ExpressDocs in the past, you may not realize that this is what that email says. And it basically says that they have set up some automated property marketing for you. Again, you don't have to use this, but it's there for you if you want to use it. It's just a prompt to say, hey, you have a new listing. Do you need to do something with it right away? So it's going to ask you, do you need to send postcards? Here's a brochure. Do you need to print a flyer out of the ExpressDocs system? And it's going to go through a couple of different steps for you. And things are going to be, you're going to get the APM emails or automated property marketing emails based on new listings, which is what we're talking about today, price changes, whether there's an open house or it's a sold. And this is what the different interfaces look like. So it's going to give you the option. Do you need to put a just listed or just sold postcard out there? Do you need to put a brochure out there? Or do you need to put a flyer out there and have it printed? And it's going to try to bring in some of this basic information. So it's going to bring in stuff from the feed. It's going to have the neighborhood. It's going to have the information already filled out and the photos already filled out for you. It's going to try to give you as much information as it can for the different brochures. And you do have an opportunity to go in here and change that information. So you can change the photos and the text and the contact information and the calls to action. So these aren't set in stone. They are just options in here. You do have the option to change your paper quality, your quantity, how you're mailing it, what size you'd like to do, and if there's any upgrades in here. And of course, you can do this right on your phone too. This is all mobile friendly from ExpressDocs as well. All right, so I want to show you that ExpressDocs window real quick, just in case you're not familiar with what it looks like. So I've logged into ExpressDocs here. You can get to ExpressDocs right from RWT Connect. So just in case you missed the email or the email is not available for whatever reason, you can go up to Programs and then APM, which is Automated Property Marketing. And it's going to bring in a list of all of the listings that are available for this. And then, of course, you can go ahead and start that process in here. Now, some properties may be right for automated property marketing, a quick just listed, just sold, something that's templated. You don't need anything fancy. It's not something that you need a custom order for and things like that. That's really what APM is for. It's for something that's just easy. Okay. If you are not interested in using automated property marketing, use this as your prompt. So it says, you know, these are available from ExpressDocs. We've already pre-designed some stuff. If you want to change it, great. If, you know, you can go in and do that. If you're not interested in using automated property marketing, just use it as a reminder that says, oh my gosh, I need to send this order in to marketing to have them do my brochure. I need to send an order in to marketing to have them make a just listed postcard. Or I need to send an order in to marketing to have them do a custom price change to go to the neighborhood, or an open house to go to the neighborhood, whatever it happens to be. So if you're not interested in using that APM, or automated property marketing, use that email as just a prompt to remind you to go ahead and do something for that listing in some kind of printed fashion through whatever method you'd like. We have a bunch of different vendors that do this kind of thing. And of course, we do custom work through marketing all the time. So again, it's here for you if you'd like to use it. And if you don't want to use it, just use it as a prompt to make sure that you can. Does anybody have any questions about those automatic emails that you're going to get when you have a new listing, or even in this case, when there's a listing change? Those are the kind of the three big ones that are going to come out, and these are the ones that we get the most questions on. I'm happy to take any questions you may have on them.
It's Marika.
Sure.
Quick question about when you have one of those emails and you want to send them, do you just send them through your contacts that are in your just the people you have in your contacts? Is there a way to send them to everybody in a particular? I know Rain doesn't allow you to do it, neither does Richmond, but Williamsburg allows you to send it to everybody in that are members.
We do not have a way to send it to everybody in the MLS. This is really just for your contacts.
Okay, all right, that's all we needed to know. Thanks.
You're welcome. Did I see another question pop up? Let's see, is there a template on the RWT Connect that we can use to print within our own offices for either an open house flyer or a property flyer? So yes. So if you are looking for a flyer, I'm hoping you're looking for a flyer, just a simple flyer for a property. You can use the property flyer on here, and it can be printed out from any person's profile. So in this case, I happen to be under the agent and I happen to be in their listing manager. But if somebody else were hosting an open house, they could certainly go to marketing and then flyers, and you can choose your own listing in here, and all of the different company listings will be in here. This comes in really handy if you're part of a team, or if you have a newer agent who might be hosting an open house for somebody and they want to put their own information on here. You can certainly do that. For those of you who are on this call who are office admins or office managers, you also have an office level profile that would just say Central Virginia Beach office, for example, and the branding would be just office specific without a specific agent on there as well. So that's something super specific that we normally only do in admin, but Julie, I hope that answers your question. All right, great. Does anybody else have any questions at all about those emails or new listing notifications that you're getting before we let it go today? No? All right. Well, I thank you again for being here. And if you come up with any questions afterwards, feel free to email again, marketing@rwtown.com or websupport@rwtown.com. Both places will get to me if need be, and our team will be happy to answer it for you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.